everyone, welcome to the community classroom. This is Dr. Tracy McCarthy, psychologist, attorney, and educator. As we are winding things down in the community classroom, we are going to address the question of who are the Mardi Gras Indians. One dynamic that takes place in discussions related to culture is often a dynamic whereby one group will try to define the culture of another group. There will be instances where individuals will not allow there to be boundaries, and so every brown person must be the same and must have the same cultural and ancestral background according to these narratives. One of the things that I want people to start thinking a little bit more about is the dynamic of differentiating and allowing each person to have their own ancestral narrative. Sometimes you'll have individuals who are doing sort of this globalized research, and they will present it and discuss it as if all of the people in the Americas are a monolith, and they are not. And so you'll have individuals, for instance, from the DMV area. So you've got folks from DC, you've got people from Delaware, you've got people from Maryland, making assertions about Indian culture or quote unquote black culture or brown culture and the historical narratives, and then wanting to generalize that to individuals who are in other parts of the country. One part of the country that you really can't generalize to is Louisiana. Louisiana is very unique in terms of its heritage and in terms of its cultural inheritance. And here you can see some of the Mardi Gras Indians parading in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is a very rich heritage. You can see there is significant pageantry going on. Many people may not be aware of the fact that the Mardi Gras Indians actually make all of their own costumes. That's a part of the culture, that's a part of the heritage, and this is passed down from generation to generation. And you can see there are different color schemes in terms of the costumes. Part of this has to do with tribes also. So the Mardi Gras Indians are broken down into tribes, and you have tribes from different parts of New Orleans. One of the things that you might have noted is the fact that these carnival type celebrations go on throughout the Americas, but what people might not realize is that there is a common cultural linkage in terms of these carnival celebrations, this pageantry, and you see this as part of a linkage in terms of these European roots, quite frankly. And so you have this combination of indigenous roots, African roots, and European roots coming together for these carnival celebrations, and that's all a part of the heritage. The Mardi Gras Indians are steeped in tradition and culture, and part of the historical narrative related to the Mardi Gras Indians revolves around this theme of giving thanks for the Indians in that area who took in enslaved Africans who ran away. They ran into the arms of the Indians who rescued them and took them in. And so part of this tradition involves giving thanks. And so this is a commemoration. And not only are adults involved in the celebrations, children are also involved, and the children start off very early learning how to also make their own costumes. It is a lengthy process. It's a learning process for the children. It's a maturation process for the children. It's also sort of like a rites of passage program for the children, and they play integral parts in the festivities. For those of you who are not familiar with Louisiana, Louisiana is a very creolized space. And so you have individuals converging in this one space from a variety of backgrounds. And so you have a heavy African presence, you have a heavy indigenous Indian presence, you have a heavy European presence. And in that space, individuals are coalesced. And so you have a melange. And one group that is present in Louisiana and has been there for quite a while, that group is the Moors. And so you might have noted with all of that pageantry, and we've talked about the feathers, with all of those feathers, the Mardi Gras Indians are essentially Moorish in terms of tradition and culture. And one of the reasons why people might not think of that immediately is that people tend to think about Louisiana, particularly New Orleans, as French. And there is a forgetting of the fact that the foundation, that European foundation in Louisiana, started off as a Spanish foundation. So you have a lot of architecture that is Spanish, a lot of what you call Moorish architecture. You have a lot of food that is Moorish in terms of its foundation. So when you're talking about Moorish, you also have this, again, a melange, this creolized dynamic going on. So again, you have individuals with Spanish backgrounds and French backgrounds and Indian backgrounds and African backgrounds, all mixed together in that culture and in the people. And this book, the Louisiana Field Guide, provides a little bit of insight into the role of Moorish communities and Moorish individuals in the history of Louisiana. And we talked previously about that identity ambiguity that was going on in the DMV area previously related to the Moors and them having this ambiguous cultural identity. And this also goes on in Louisiana. So one of the things that individuals with mixed heritage have been identified as in Louisiana is red bones. This is very interesting because there's another group of people in Africa who are known as red bones, the red Igbo. And so you have this mixing of cultures. And again, it's also like that Iko Iko song. You have different individuals trying to claim ownership of this identity of red bone. And here you see the question being asked, who are the red bones? And this issue related to trying to identify the origin of these Louisiana red bones and how difficult it is. It's really murky in terms of their ancestry. And here the book talks about this claiming of being Moorish and Turkish as well as Native American. And also you have that dynamic again related to the individuals in Africa being known as Red Igbo or Reddybone, and that's also in the Caribbean. And so basically what you have in terms of Reddybone or Red Igbo or red bone is this dynamic of the mixture of the races in that part of the country. And as we are winding down, one of the things that people should start thinking again more about is being more honest about their own backgrounds and being willing to look at all of the possibilities in terms of heritage. Some people again have hit roadblocks. You know, they are looking for ancestors and they are hitting roadblocks. And when they see a heritage that they didn't anticipate, they may overlook that heritage and think they've hit a roadblock when they really haven't. They just may be having a little dissonance about what it is that they are uncovering. Those who are in Louisiana and certain parts of the South are probably a little bit more open about this, and individuals in the North may not be as open about it because it may feel a little bit more foreign. But again, if you are going to learn about your heritage and you're going to uncover the totality of your heritage, you have to keep your mind open to the fact that People have not been as insular as people may be led to believe. People have been doing quite a bit of cross-cultural interacting over time. This isn't anything new. But again, if people are going to find that heritage that they are looking for, they are going to have to open up their minds about what it is they are looking for and what it is they are seeing when they find different things. Remember, knowledge is power. Take care and see you soon.